Good morning guys, and welcome to today's vlog. Today has brought us 18.2 miles away from home. We've travelled by car because the trains have been on strike for a few days during the last week. Today brings us to Tring Natural History Museum. It's the sister site of the Natural History Museum in London, and was once owned by the Rothschild family. The guy himself, a bit of a quirky character. He used to have hybrid animals. He used to breed horses with zebras and have I can't remember, zebroids, and what they would do with those, he would have them pulling these like horse and cart type of thing. Anyway, it's full of stuffed animals, mammals, insects, snakes, sharks, etc. So let's go and have a look. That there is super cute. All taxidermy, little squirrel monkey. Not supposed to touch that. These are your wild dogs, foxes, coyotes, etc., wolves. I think you'll probably find a lot of these have been donated by safari parks and zoos. Some of them, of course, would have been unfortunately hunted, but this is from a Victorian era, so it's not modern day. A lot of these will be well over 100 years old. Hope the glare is not too much. It's just something I specifically wanted to try out. But obviously it can't be helped. Big polar bear there, have a look at him. He is beautiful. Just want to give him a cuddle, to be honest with you. Absolutely huge. Now I've seen them in a Assiniboine Zoo, playing about, having cuddles. Got so much power. And of course, brown bears, grizzlies, here's a hybrid. So that is, I know they've had a lot of hybrids, but because the polar bears have now moved further inland, what they used to live in with, the polar caps etc. have melted, and now they're actually breeding with brown bears, and that is your evolution, so to speak, a mixture of the two. Oh yeah, the place is pretty cool. Strange looking at them, but that is a sloth bear. Now that would be your Baloo from your Jungle Book. They've got those running around at ZSL Whipsnade. And that is your black bear. Realistically, we're on their menu. Brown bears and that will pretty much attack us if we go in their territory to protect themselves, but we're on their food chain. Many people's favourite creatures, the old tigers. It's huge. And I feel for these poor little sods. Probably died at childbirth or baby tiger there. King. Don't quite think the eyes are right on him, but bless him. It's come from Zimbabwe. Classic lion film that I absolutely love. Is it The Ghost in the Darkness? Where there's a group of, I think it was 3-4 male lions that were just killing people for sport. It's actually a true story, and I believe the lions themselves are now in a museum. Is it in New York? Possibly in New York, but they're on display. as expected with any of these places we text them, it's full of a lot of birds. Like the squirrel monkey, they've got a red fox here, and the idea is you can actually touch them. You see what they would have felt like fur-wise. This just shows you how long some of these have been here, so they're not like happened overnight. That goes back to 1911. So I said it's a totally different era. I've actually seen these at ZSL as well. Someone puts their gauntlet out, the eagle comes and lands on top of it, and they are huge. And the old vultures. Your orangutans. Such a beautiful placid creature. And they end up in here. It is sad. Sorry about reflection again. This fellow here is a bit smaller, but reminds me of the guy, the gorilla. Strangely enough, there's a bird in here that I've always wanted to meet in the wild, or in captivity probably, because you ain't going to see one in the wild. That there, shoebill, massive bird, placid, but they make a fantastic noise. That is an enormous gull. And your pelicans. Some of my favourites are actually hanging above our heads, and we'll have a look on the second floor, because that there looks like a great white. It's possible, we'll have a look at it. More primates. Sort of wonder if one day the likes of ourselves would be in a cage or behind a glass screen for people to look at in future generations. With society, you just don't know. Look at the colours on him. More wild dogs and hyenas. Your small mammals, likes of your lemurs. That one there's got teeth like a vampire. World famous but extinct. Probably because it was just too placid and friendly. Not a threat to anyone, but they just butchered them by the thousands. And now no longer with us. I don't think there's anything that looks similar to it nowadays, but that was your world famous dodo. Sort of wonder what it would have tasted like if it was on the food chain. Fair enough, but I just think they just killed them in their droves. Your development from embryo into a chick. It's clever how they do this. We're in an area now with, it's like a photographer of the year gallery, all to do with animals throughout the world. It could be something common that you just took in your back garden and got a great shot. I did enter it myself once, didn't get anywhere, as I went up the zoo one day and it was heavily bound with snow. And I was the only one that could get up there, and at the time they had the arrival of a new male tiger. I think his name was Bosman, and I took a load of photographs of him, sent them to the zoo, and they asked if they could use them on their site. And then a couple of days later I looked on other sites and see that people were selling my actual picture. It's stunning what some people can do with a camera. That'll freak out many people. It's certainly an illusion. What do you think of that, Rach?
Oh my god!
It's the spiders, the little ones would be probably, the big one, no chance. You'd make a freakish movie out of that. Yeah, that's cool. Go up to the second level, and on the way up we are greeted by the head of an enormous moose. Wow. That reminds me of my old friend Melka. He was a male moose that was a ZSL whip snake for many years. We had a family. We're currently in the Rothschild room. This is the family that used to have this as a private museum. And the guy, as I said on the intro, that used to breed hybrids as a mix between zebras and horses and get them to pull his carriage. Must have been a sight to behold. The turn of the last century. Oh, it's led to believe that's when it was. They handed all this over to the people, and then we could enjoy what was here. And nowadays, of course, this is all free. No admission fee to come in here at all. No fee for the parking. So an 18-mile drive, and you get a free day out. And there's AC in here as well. So if it was hot outside, you've got something in here to look forward to. We're now up on a level surrounded by reptiles, your larger mammals, your elephants, your rhinos, and of course above them hanging you've also got my favourites, the sharks, but also there is the odd dinosaur or two. That, I'd imagine, is an extinct sloth from many years ago. Some huge caiman and gators, crocodiles, etc. He's pretty big. Would have you no problem. And that is just weird. I believe this guy's name's Ray. Hi, Ray. Rachel's just sort of rolled her eyes at me like she usually does. I need to add some humour at some point. These are my personal favourites. Do love a shark, all thanks to the film Jaws. That's similar to a white, but that's a mackerel shark. Smaller cousin, distant relative to it. You will find them in British waters. That there is a tiger shark. It's quite a big white rhino. I believe that could be a black rhino behind it. It's not about the colour of what their skin is, there's just two different types of breed. That one's like very heavily armour plated. That could be the greater one-horned rhino. So there's plenty of these round ZSL whipsnake. I really don't like seeing the skulls of the creatures, it just gives a definition of them passing. or their tusks. Unfortunately, I guess we all know that they probably didn't die a peaceful death of old age. Probably poachers. The big old crabs. Lobsters and crayfish. I've seen some massive live ones of them in the past in aquariums on the south coast. Okay, from your smaller dogfish and tope, baby hammerheads, etc., to your larger sharks. Nurse sharks are predominantly a bottom feeder, as are your leopard sharks. You've got your 6 and 7 gill sharks. Your blue shark, find a lot of them around our coastline. And your rays. And then above us we have, that is a basking shark, predominantly in Irish waters. You do get them around the likes of Cornwall, etc. But they are plankton feeders, you will not get teeth with those. That there, your mackerel shark, is a cousin of your great white, it's the same family. What it says on there, laminated, that basically means they've got eyelids. And of course, tiger shark. Find them predominantly in Pacific waters, although they are found in the Atlantic. Got swordfish here, which is also the shark family. Sturgeon, predominantly freshwater, but do get them in salt water in some countries. You've got another port beagle, also found in British waters. 6-gilled shark. That doesn't even look like it's been taxidermied, that just looks like a replica. And here is a bigger blue shark. Looking at the tail, it's very similar to a fresher. Theirs are even more long and pointed, and they flick the tail to get their prey. Certainly curious creatures. There is a type of them that actually eats bats. They're supposed to be highly venomous. Not in this country though. No, we're not expecting John, Paul, George and Ringo. These are other beetles. That sort of scaraby type beetles you find in the likes of your mummy movies. In some countries are a delicacy. There's certainly some colour on them guys. And now they're just getting plain bizarre. The size of that is my hand. Harmless. Your fleas. What you're probably not likely to see, I'll try and get you, there's a little looking glass here, and there is a couple of fleas dressed up in there. I don't know whether that's showing it or not. Fleas in clothing. Not sure, but there you go. Sorry for those of you who do not like the spiders. Pretty huge characters in here. Yeah. Ironically, it's the little ones that cause you more problems. As we were in Hertfordshire, that there is a hornet. You find these on many people's home walls, usually a single butterfly. Beautiful colour. Where is Hurry Starling when you need her? Your depths of your ocean gives up some really, really strange creatures. Look at that anglerfish at the top there. I've seen people catch these off the piers around the British coast area, and they haul them in, and as soon as they either explode or people run a mile when they get them on the jetty, because they're venomous more than anything else. We have some zebras, or as your Americans would call them, zebras. Strange how we pronounce our alphabet slightly different. The many creatures you would have found on your plains in Africa and America. Some of these are enormous. The likes of your bison, your buffalo. And look at the size of that. And that's even bigger. Huge. Your deers and your elks. A lot of these will be probably extinct. There's all your gazelles, impalas. Very fast, and they would have to be, because their predators would be your lions, who themselves would sleep for up to 21 hours a day just to get your energy in a short burst, to then be able to chase them down. Water buffalo. Actually, their main predator is not a lion, it's more likely to be a crocodile, as they cross the great rivers and lakes. And right here, this is your next level. This is a Rachel. It's actually animatronics, it's not quite real. They haven't put it into a cage yet, or a glass. I said, strange what people used to get up to yesteryear. I suppose that's what eccentric people do, come up with strange and weird, bizarre things. But he would breed hybrids. That is not actually a zebra or a zebra or a horse, it's a mixture of the two. Kangaroos and wallabies. I believe these guys will give the video a seal of approval. Sorry about the pun, but some of these are quite vicious. The likes of your leopard seals. They look cute and cuddly, but they'll rip you to pieces. California sea lions, your walruses. They can actually fight off a polar bear. And then on to your common dolphins. I've seen them in a little pod swimming around Aquatica in Florida. Do find them around the British shores. Absolutely love manatees. They are so graceful, so beautiful to watch. All they do is ever eat cabbage and just swim around. You see them when they have problems when the water gets a bit cold. They go into a cold shock, and then you get the little guys like this to be brought back round. They're bottle fed, and then when they can be released, they are. Okay, some serious horns coming up. pose there of your moose. That is enormous. Reminds me of 40 Towers. You had a giraffe. And then you have pygmy and common hippo. And then your warthogs. And these are your little wild boar. Seen plenty of them over the years running around Whipsnade. That is not a huge slab of rock up there, that is an enormous elephant seal. And the narwhal. It's like a whale with a tusk coming out of its nose. Your aardvarks. Not to be confused with an anteater. Eat the same food, and they look different. So here's an anteater over here. Totally different creature altogether. Smaller relative. And your crusty meat pies or armadillos. And your pangolins. By all accounts, they carry a lot of disease. Your bunnies and hares. Ferrets, stoats, weasels, otters, beavers. Giant panda, although that is a very small giant panda. And your red panda up there. Your common roadside rodents, hedgehogs. Never seen something like that before. And here are your bats. If you ever get the chance and you're in Florida, go to the Animal Kingdom and the trek at the back and see some of the bats they've got in there, the giant fruit bats. They are enormous and there is no barrier between them and you. Your canines, your doggies, man's best friend for centuries. Mick the Miller, it's a famous racing greyhound from years back. Your hounds and your beagles. Onto your mastiffs, your pugs. Always reminds me of the Magic Roundabout. Like Google. St Bernards. And then your bulldog breeds. To your German Shepherd dogs and Alsatians. And then you have some of your toy dogs. And then onto your terriers. Your big birds. There's a strange question. Does anyone actually know what Big Bird out of Sesame Street is? Was he an emu? Was he an ostrich? Or was he just his own breed? I don't know. Curious character. People actually try and smuggle these eggs. I remember years ago working around the Heathrow area and a box load of those come in. And that's what they look like without their feathers and flesh on. And these, your moa, is another level altogether. extinct now. Can't even see his head, he's that high up. But they were huge. And then again, sorry for those who have your disposition of your snakes, etc. But this is your snake part of the reptile family. Some of these are huge and awful looking. Your serpents. Come across one. Was it a black racer? We was at SeaWorld, Florida, and it just looked like a little shoestring going across the pavement. Tiny little thin thing, black thing. Obviously would grow into something about that size. There you go, North American racer. But it was the size of a shoestring. Tiny little thing. Just getting the heat off the concrete. And I picked it up and moved it to one side. Komodo dragon. They would actually continue to chase you. If they bite you, their venom is so potent, it's actually got bubonic plague in it. And it would wait for your body's systems to shut down, and then they'd come in and tear you apart. And then onto your turtles. That is huge. And real big fillers here. Big fellas, should I say. Some of these live 300-400 years old. You can't get more quaint than the essential Britishness that is right next to the Natural History Museum, because right to your left is a Tudor building. It's what we're all about over here. Pomp and ceremony. But that does look beautiful. 1893. And that is your outside ground areas of where we've just been walking. Said free access to the public, free parking, which we gained access through over this side over here. There's a small little park area. I think you could just generally have a walk around here if you didn't want to come into the museum itself, but very nice. Anyhow guys, that's going to do it for today's vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope the glare wasn't too much for you. It's something I really needed to try out with the camera. I didn't know what it was going to do. So yeah, I'm happy with it all in all. Said the day was free, so I've got nothing to lose from it. We are now off to go and climb Ivanhoe Beacon. Just something impromptu I decided to do, so come and join us on that if you want. If not, enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll catch you in the movies. See you later. Bye for now.